Hello, everyone. Welcome to our 2 Cents. I'm the CEO of GCS, Clinton Smith. I'm here with our resident financial advisor, Galen Bargerstock, who's also the founder of GCS. Galen, how's your day?
I'm doing great today, Clint. How are you?
Better than any other day.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I am doing good, but I know that a lot of people aren't, and the topic that we're going to talk about today is something that has been on everyone's minds for at least the last year or few years, if not forever, since the beginning of history and economics. But we're going to talk about inflation desperation today.
Yeah, inflation. I mean, it'll hit you. You think you're doing good, and then all of a sudden prices raise on everything, and then what are you supposed to do?
And that really is what it comes down to. A lot of people don't understand how inflation works. They don't know how to protect themselves against it. And honestly, it is not super easy to protect yourself against inflation, but we do have some things that can help you curb inflation.
It can help a little bit, yeah. I mean, you can't stop it.
So just for people that don't know, can you just break down what does inflation mean?
Inflation is, essentially when products, goods, and services are increasing in prices and you don't have the income to actually increase with that. So you're feeling the burn because you're spending more money in order to accomplish the same things that you wanted to purchase in the past.
Yeah. So we're going to go over, let's talk about just reasons inflation is bad. The first one is that it's eroding your purchasing power.
Yeah.
What does that mean for everyone?
I mean, your dollar is not going to go as far as it used to. You're not going to be able to have as much a $10 bill isn't going to buy you as much products as what it did today, as what it did, even 2 weeks ago. Everything keeps on rising. So you need to put more money into something, and then you're caught off guard because you're still making the same salary.
Yeah.
So it's a very intense task, and it's on everybody's minds right now.
Yeah. So guys, if you've been watching since the beginning from our first episode, you can tell that we've been shrinking immensely. It's because we've been eating healthy, we've been doing no carbs, and that is why I can tell you that I know that 9 chicken breasts is like $45 where we live.
I don't think it's quite $45.
It is. It's like $15 for a 3-pack.
It is.
They're
right.
big chicken breasts.
They are.
Yeah.
What really confuses me is how chicken wings have now doubled in price, but they're half the size. So I'm very confused on why they're smaller and more expensive.
And believe me, guys, he understands the ins and outs of retirement and chicken wings. His number one favorite appetizer, meal. It's so versatile.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like chicken wings. It's probably one of my favorite meals right now, too. It's not super healthy, but we're there.
Yeah, it is.
So eroding purchasing power, that is the number one thing that is really one of the reasons that it's bad, but also impacting lower income consumers. What does that mean? How does inflation impact lower income consumers?
I mean, if you're already not making a lot of income and you're just barely making ends meet, and now all of a sudden everything is costing more, it's going to affect you more because stuff that was already out of reach is now even higher up there, and you just can't seem to catch up.
Yeah. Ultimately, lower income families typically spend most of their money on necessities, that they need to live, like roof, food, and other things. And whenever, you have the money that you have to spend on those types of things, this is going to end up also leading into more health concerns because a lot of people know that whenever they have the decision make, do I pay rent, do I buy food, or do I go to the doctor for something that's been bothering me for months or weeks or years, and they'll decide not to do that. So inflation also affects people's health care because they just don't have the money to spend on taking care of themselves, which in the long run can lead to even more negative impacts just because of inflation.
Yeah, and it's also the quality of food choices. It seems sometimes the cheaper food options might not be as healthy for you because you have to spend more money on the fresh produce and the fresh meats and things like that when it's cheaper to buy something that's already been processed, which is also going to hurt your health as well.
Yeah. So I know there are a lot of people out there that are really being hurt by inflation. Hopefully it continues to go down. Hopefully interest rates go down as well because it's all a cycle. People will decide, which is the next thing on our list, economic instability decreased consumer confidence, that inflation can lead to decreased consumer confidence and pessimism about the economy. Can you tell me how that cycle works?
It's a downward spiral in, despair. I mean, if you're already not able to afford something and then it goes further out of reach, you're just going to think that everything is bad. So all of a sudden now everything is a negative aspect, and you're focusing on the negatives and you're not focusing on the positives, and you just get in that state of mind, and it's doom or gloom.
Yeah. Everyone knows, if you are into cereal, that even cereal companies jacked up their prices in the last year and then went on sale. So as a country, we do have the ability to boycott products and boycott services whenever they're price gouging us. And that's happened this year. We all saw that there's a whole entire line of cereals and food that are now like 10 boxes for like $9,
Yeah, because people didn't want it.
Yeah. So, I mean, economic instability, that's the next one. And this is caused by excessive inflation. Can you explain what economic instability means?
Stability is that people are going to have a healthy lifestyle. So the instability is actually going to be the exact opposite. You have bad health behaviors. You're buying those cheaper foods. You're buying cheaper products where aren't going to last as long. So it's just, again, it's that whole downward spiral of, the unhealthy aspect of getting anything, not just your health, but products, compared to a higher quality, but you can't afford because it's more expensive now.
Yeah. And these are, in economic stability, these are things that people may not really think of whenever they think about inflation, but those things would include that you have resources that are essential to a healthy lifestyle. You also have affordable housing, employment that provides a living wage, and affordable childcare, accessible and reliable transportation. These are all things that are signs of economic stability. And the opposite of that would really be health risk behaviors, premature mortality or early death, or dying before you're supposed to because you don't have the money to take care of yourself, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Childcare, prices are rising on that. Rent's increasing. It's unstable, so that's the negative aspect of it. Not just housing, mortgages are also more expensive to obtain right now. So everything, it's just a total downward spiral. And
that's why our title of our show today is Inflation Desperation, because inflation can really affect a lot of people. Everyone probably knows somebody that's been affected negatively by inflation over the last couple years, and inflation has been at an all-time high. And a lot of people ask us questions about inflation and how to protect the retirement against inflation. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about it today, guys. We're going to be back in just a moment, everyone. We'll see you in a minute.
I got into the financial space just answering a Craigslist ad, honestly. It kind of fell into my lap. I got out of the military. I went to college before, didn't know what I wanted to do. And it's just something that piqued my interest that, once I learned about it, I wanted to know more. I think what makes me keep on doing this is the fact that everybody's different, every family I meet with, so it keeps it very interesting. So we started out as independent, and then at one point I wanted to know more because the clients kept on asking me questions, so I wanted to advance, my knowledge. So I did work for Prudential for about 1.5 years, and then I came back. I decided that I wanted to be independent again. I can go outside the box and pick the proper product for the clients. I feel as an independent advisor, I have more ability to find different financial products that are available, not just in one box. I think that everybody's family, all across America is completely different. No one family eats the same meal for dinner every single night. The recipes, even if they would be different, the ingredients. So it's just like that with the family situation. So while finance is pretty much standard and, set by mathematics, the family aspect brings a lot of fun for me because it keeps it interesting.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Clinton Smith, the CEO of GCES, and I'm here with Galen Bargerstock, our financial advisor. And today our topic is inflation desperation. Inflation has affected tons of families all across the country, and it's something that a lot of people really think about when they are going to prepare for retirement. Now, Galen, have you seen people, whenever you're meeting with them, actually put off retirement because of inflation or because of the state of the economy?
Yes, 100%. You know, some people, you know, for the last, 3 or 4 years have not wanted to retire. They're very against it because they don't know where the country is going itself and if they are going to have stability inside of their retirement. You know, one of those economic instabilities is pills versus, mortgage. Do you have enough money to pay for your prescriptions, because prescription prices are going to rise? So people have actually not retired, decided to stay in the workforce and keep on going because they don't know what's going on and everybody's scared.
Yeah. Prescription pills have raised in price exponentially.
Yes.
Which is really something that, we're 40, we already have prescriptions that we take regularly.
Yeah.
I can just imagine how many we're going to have by the time we're 60.
Yeah.
And that's really important for people to take care of themselves. And that's why we wanted to talk about inflation with everyone today. Galen, whenever you sit down with someone, do you include talking about inflation in your plans with them about retirement?
I do, because when you're setting up a retirement plan, inflation is something that's going to happen. And the best way that I can relate to everybody and relate inflation is just think to yourself, if you're of retirement age, were there cell phones like they are today back then? No, there wasn't. Even when I was growing up, there wasn't, the smartphones. So those are things that, not just inflation, but things are going to be different in 10 years. Technologies keep on going. People didn't even have indoor plumbing at one point, and now, that's pretty standard and people take that for granted, but the world is going to hopefully keep on moving and keep on progressing, and you have to realize that, yeah, you may have enough money right now and you may be fine, but no matter what, inflation is going to keep on going and you're going to have to keep pace, and if you don't, I don't want to say you're going to fall behind, but you're not going to live the quality of life that you should have. It's your right.
Yeah. And I do know that within the last several decades, the prices of housing has gone up exponentially as compared
Correct.
to the wages that people are making. So inflation can hit in a lot of different ways. It can affect businesses, it can affect families, and it's something that's universal. Everyone's going to be affected by inflation no matter how much money you have in your bank account. If you have a lot of money in your bank account, though, you're going to be able to at least afford stuff, and lower income families are really the ones that suffer the most.
I think that everybody suffers, I don't want to say just low-income families. Everybody is suffering at some point, and if you aren't suffering, you definitely know somebody that is suffering through the tough times that are going on. But you just have to remember that, tough times make tough people. And you have to learn through stuff and make the appropriate choices. So I am going to talk about inflation whenever we go into a retirement plan or a scenario to plan for your retirement, because it all circles back to the risk tolerance. What can you take in the stock market with your investments? Because if you are playing the market at a higher rate of return, putting a little bit risk out there, you're going to have the reward that you could have more money in the future. Now, nothing is guaranteed, but I think of everything in a 10-year average. So in a 10-year time frame, we look at these different mutual funds and what allocation can you handle, because if you're making more interest on your retirement savings or any kind of savings, individual accounts, then at that point you're going to have more money in the future, which is going to give you more purchasing power. So you should be, hopefully okay.
Yeah. In the end, guys, at GCES, we understand the ins and outs of your retirement planning. Galen will come out and sit down with you in your home. You can come to our office. You can also call us to schedule a Zoom. It's super easy. The number's right on the screen. It's 888-391-3465. You can call us. We can set up an appointment. You can meet with us. You can get all of these questions answered. We do offer a complimentary financial plan, and you can scan the QR code right here on the screen to find out more. You can also visit us online at gces.us. That's our website. We're also on Facebook. You can look back. We have tons of videos. We do a lot of fun videos in the past. For a whole year, we did a Facebook Live video every Tuesday, and that's how we came up with the name of our show, because we called it Our 2 Cents on Tuesdays at 2.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time since we did a Facebook Live video. We also have a cooking show on our YouTube channel. If you want to check it out, you can come into me and Galen's home and see us make delicious dinners and have some drinks with us at the same time and talk about retirement in a fun and relaxed environment. Because honestly, when it comes down to it, we understand most people don't want to talk about retirement. Most people don't want to talk about their finances, and sometimes that's why they procrastinate, and it's too late by the time they get to us.
You're 100% correct. And I love the aspect of the cooking show because the cooking show, not only is it a necessity, but most of the time, I mean, we've had some unhealthy meals just to have fun with it, but, your health is important. And, another way to beat inflation is, preparing your own meals instead of going out. I mean, nobody likes to hear that, and you need to go out to have an economy. But if you're looking to lower bills in your own home, if you aren't a chef, everybody starts at a level 0. So you can, cook healthy meals for yourself to help with the health conditions, also to save money. It's just things that you can do.
Yeah, slow down, Tiger. We're saving that for the end. So the next part we're going to talk about is who benefits from inflation, because, we talked about how everyone's affected from inflation, but who is actually benefiting from inflation? Can you explain to me? Because this is like, seriously, I learned this morning. This was new to me. If you wanted a silver lining on a turd, this would be it.
So it comes down to, pretty much I'm going to talk about the bond market. When interest rates rise, bond prices go down. When bond prices go down, what's going to happen is bond companies your bonds are company debt. So they're going to be buying back their debt at a cheaper rate, or your yields might be lower and you're going to get less money in return. So who really makes out on, inflation at the end of the day is the borrowers. You are paying somebody funding their debt. Take for instance, the federal government in the thrift savings plan. That is government bonds. So yeah, you are investing in government bonds, but you are investing in government debt, and that debt is giving you a return back. So at the end of the day, who is capitalizing on this is some of the companies not paying back as much as they could have or promised to.
Yeah, you started talking about bonds and probably lost about 79 to 99% of the people that were watching.
Right.
So let me sum that up in an easy to understand way. Inflation allows borrowers to pay lenders back with money that is technically worth less than when they originally borrowed it.
Correct.
So if you think about it in easy terms with taking bonds and stock market, whatever it is that you talked about there for a minute or so, if you take that out of the equation and you think about it, you borrowed money back when it was worth more. Money is now worth less, and you're still paying back the same dollar amount from before. So really, that's a good way to look at inflation. If you bought your house before the market went up in price, inflation, you're now paying off that loan with money that's technically worth less than what it was whenever you took out the loan.
Correct.
So I never thought that somebody would benefit from inflation, but if there's a silver lining to it, I guess that's it. And I don't really think anyone even thinks about that as a silver lining.
Not at all. Not at all, no.
Yeah, but if there was going to be a silver lining, that would be it, because someone is benefiting from it. But it's honestly something that I don't think anyone even would think of.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Guys and girls, we're going to be back in just a few moments, and we're going to continue talking about inflation desperation. See you in a minute. As people, we strive for better, from a better house to a better career to a better life for our kids. But when it comes to your retirement, what does better mean to you? Does that mean more income, a flexible lifestyle, or better solutions? A better retirement begins with a plan. To get your complimentary financial analysis, call the number you see here. Your retirement isn't going to plan itself, and this is your opportunity to plan better. At GCS, we have years of experience in working with thousands of families in over 40 states across the country.
We understand the ins and outs of your retirement planning and can help you understand all the options available to you.
Finances, retirement, the future, these are all things that can seem outside of your control, but with proper planning and a partnership with a financial advisor, you can put all of your worries at ease.
I'm Galen Bargerstock, and I've dedicated my life to helping families understand their retirement options and making sure that they can make the most of it, regardless of their income. All families deserve a financial advisor they can trust to help make the best choices.
At GCS, we have the expertise to help you down the road to retirement. All you have to do, give us a call today and start your journey. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Clinton Smith. I'm the CEO of GCES, and I'm here with our financial advisor, Galen Bargerstock, and we're talking all about inflation today, which is something that has affected everyone across the country.
It has. Prices are just so high right now.
Yeah, between housing, prescription costs, medical costs, prescription costs, home costs, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, all of those things have gone up, and it's really putting a strain on the finances and the financial strength of a lot of people across the country. We've already talked about reasons why inflation is bad, which, I mean, obviously inflation is never a good thing. It's better whenever it's going down.
Yeah.
We also talked about who benefits from inflation, which really, I guess, would be anyone that's borrowed money.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the last thing I want to talk about as we close it out for everyone today is how can someone actually protect themselves from rising inflation costs?
Yeah, so I mean, there's all kinds of different things that you can do, and I definitely don't want to, come across condescending with some of this stuff because it's obvious. But goods and stuff that you're buying, you might want to shop around. Consider buying generic products or store label products where you're at the grocery store. Find a cheaper alternative. Maybe your grocery store is expensive and there's a cheaper one that you've heard of. Examine costs. The weekly sale ads in the papers, things like that to try to bring costs down.
Yeah, I know as inflation started to soar, it was also the same time that DoorDash came out.
Yeah, it is.
And DoorDash, if you really look at it, you're paying more prices than what you would if you actually went into the store. You're paying for the delivery fee, you're paying for the service fee, and then you're also adding a tip on top of that where your price almost doubles than what it would be if you actually went into the store. So really looking at your expenses and seeing where you can cut costs is really the first step. Consider buying generic products as well, or bulk or discounted items as well. That's one of the first things on our list of how to actually protect yourself against inflation. And it's hard for people to cut costs really because everyone wants to, live a good life, spend money, and be happy.
Correct.
And sometimes when it comes down to deciding whether or not you're going to save money in your retirement or you're going to order some stuff off DoorDash.
It comes into the healthy lifestyle thing, and I think that buying in bulk is a great aspect with it. Not just the big bulk stores, but you can order things off of Amazon as well in bulk supplies. When you're cooking at home, you can go to the grocery store and you can buy a little thing of seasonings or spices, or you can buy a big container. And if you are cooking a lot more at home, that big container is going to actually be needed because now you're lowering your costs because you are cooking more at home and you're saving money because you're buying in bulk.
Yeah. Also, too, I guess we didn't even think of this, but I love those couponing shows.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they check out with 4 carts and they pay $2.19.
It is amazing, yeah.
Yeah. If you guys have liked this at home, please send us a message about what your favorite episode was of these extreme couponing shows because it is a good show. I really like to watch those.
It is. I didn't think of that as well, but you're right.
Yeah.
And with technology, you have coupons on your phone now.
Yeah. So guys, cutting costs, any way that you can is really a good way to protect yourself against inflation. The second one, this seems like this is, and this just doesn't apply to inflation. This applies to saving money and getting yourself out of debt, but paying off higher interest rate debts first.
Correct. Yeah, because if you have a high rate of interest that you're paying back for, just say, a credit card, and maybe you have 4 or 5, but the one is very high, by paying that one down, you're not going to be paying more interest in the long run. So by chunking that one down, you're going to ultimately save more money. And anytime that you can save money and put more money back into the household, you can put that into savings, and that's going to help combat inflation.
All right, so this next one I actually kind of like. It's reducing your energy bills. Stab anyone who touches your thermostat.
Yeah, I'm really bad at the whole energy bill thing. I'll be the first to say. I can remember as a child, my grandmother would yell at me if I opened up the fridge too long, standing there looking to see if something was in there because they knew how much energy cost. And then I'll wake up at 3 in the morning and just, open up the fridge, look around, grab the milk, have a, drink of milk out of the fridge and just let everything out. And then it has to cool down. So there's all kinds of stuff that you could do to save energy, not just, electric, but also fuel costs, cut trips, things like that.
Yeah, energy bills really have gotten out of control in the last couple of years. Electric prices have been rising, gas prices have been rising, and I would actually say that we have a mini split system at our house, and it's all through an app on my phone to control the thermostat. So I never have to worry about anyone touching it because no one else has the app.
True.
Yeah, so you can't even touch the thermostat at home if you wanted to.
No, I actually have to ask you.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah. So reducing energy bills, that's sometimes harder than what it could really be, because I do know that there's companies out there that'll come into your home that will help you make it more energy proof. But then you also end up paying those companies, and it could end up being a wash to, turn the thermostat up or down a few degrees, whether it's summer or winter, and try to curb those costs with electricity, because electricity and all of those bills, that really adds up. The next one is saving money on produce. This is kind of, if you live in a city and you don't have a yard, this is kind of an easy one for you to do. But save money on produce, plant your own garden. I know where we live, a lot of people can, and I recently also got interested in the art of canning.
Yeah, and I like canning, and at one point we did have a huge garden. You remember that, we had 33 tomato plants, and, my first year trying to grow tomato plants, I was told you had to prune them, and I cut them up like a palm tree and killed every single plant.
Okay. He's not even doing himself justice here on this story. So we're in our garden, I'm weeding, and literally like 10 seconds go by, maybe a minute and a half, and I turn around and Galen trimmed every single branch off of the tomato plant, the whole way up it, except for the top little 2 sprouts on the very top. Oh. We lost 32 or 38 tomato plants that year. I literally turned around and was like, all right, we are done gardening for the year. And that was it.
Yeah, but we had tons of zucchini. It was worthwhile. But gardening and canning, I like it. I don't like to think about the preservatives that are in a lot of the foods today. So by going to even a local, farmer and buying the produce, and then we come back and we'll do salsa and tomatoes and things like that. But it's cost saving, and it also gives you something to do. So it's fun.
Excellent. So guys, I know inflation is not exactly the most exciting topic. It's really a hard thing that a lot of people are suffering from in the economy right now and in the state of the country. Have you seen this really firsthand with clients that go into retirement and have issues?
It's a big concern, and I always say everything is personal to you and your situation, so you just have to kind of tell me where it hurts, and I can tell you how you can maybe protect yourself and your situation from inflation for the future.
Everyone at home, if you're watching and you've watched this whole time, we can help you out, understand your finances. All you have to do is call the number on the screen, 888-391-3465. You can also scan the QR code that's right here with any questions. Have a great day, guys. We will see you soon, and see you next week.